You know what I realized makes streaming a whole lot easier? When your microphone isn't on the floor. Which is where it usually lives when I'm not actively using it. Ah! Well, if that's how you feel about it. Jimbo Barista, yes indeed. If I'm being honest, yeah, that helps a bit. What, you... Telling me this ain't working for you? I straight up just put the microphone back on the floor and yelled down to it. You get down there! Now, if I'm being honest, I did have a different plan for tonight. I was gonna... Also, my video was published. Yeah, I saw about that. I have not had the time to sit down and enjoy it, unfortunately. I greatly look forward to doing it. Is that the one? I don't know why I'm saying. That's the one, rather. If you want to post a link to it in chat or anything, you are more than welcome. Yeah, tonight I was originally planning on doing a cutesy little, oh hey, Silk Song's finally out. Let's continue playing the game I got because I didn't, there wasn't any news of it at a certain juncture. And I was gonna keep playing Animal Lover. But if I'm being honest, I simply just do not have the mental capacity for a visual novel tonight. Like, I don't feel like I can give it the attention and I don't want to say care, but that seems like a good word for it. I don't have the ability to give it the attention that it deserves. So instead, I'm going to not give my full attention to Jimbo. So last time we actually did something I did not anticipate being able to do, which was beat the purple steak and make it up to the orange steak. This is the highest I've ever made it. I haven't even tried playing it because we reached this and I was like, okay, that's it. Speaking of Silk Song, heck yeah. Have that pulled up later. And by later, I mean probably tomorrow, honestly, but like, I'm gonna save that. Playlists. Boom. Silk Song today! It took me so long to buy it. Yeah, you said it took you, what, 2.5 hours? Or something like that to actually get in there and buy it? I mean, I'm glad you did. 3 hours. Oh, okay. I saw one of the Dietz brothers, one of the guys who's like one of the minds behind the Castlevania Netflix series. He's like, yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, but he also bought it on Switch, so it broke all the stores. Yeah. Boy, I figure if I'm ever actually gonna give it a go, I will not do it today. I've succeeded. Why buy Silk Song when a new Everybody's Golf dropped it today and broke Steam? Wow, Everybody's Golf! See, that's the real breaking news we should have. Debuffed Ace. Let's go. Oh, so that's what that symbol looks like. The orange stake, which is the one we've unlocked and we're currently doing, has perishable jokers. So you can use it for 5 rounds and then it becomes debuffed. Oh, you know what would suck is if you got one that was eternal and perishable, so then it ended up being debuffed and then you couldn't sell it. I would like to imagine that is not something that can happen, but who knows? I may look the part, but I am not Jimbo, I am not Jimbo Balatro. Jim Balatro, if you will. You know what? Why not? Decrease the level of played poker hand. Joke's on you! None of my hands are leveled up yet. Haha. But yeah, Silk Song obviously being the big word of the day. If anybody else has any other good things they want to share about today, by all means, feel free to do so. That can happen. Can't remember if it's a thing in the base game or mods, though. It's just silly enough, I could absolutely see it happening in base game. Can I just play my whole hand? I've got the entire straight. This is the straightest straight I've ever had. My face card has been declined. 'Cause I don't have any. Don't know why I clicked on that. We're doing a little silly time. We're going a little silly mode here. Hello, the world. I would be a fool not to use that. Now that's just mean. I like that one. Encrypted mod adds a hand that is called literally the entire fucking deck. That is delightful. I love that. It also adds a nun hand. Ah. My big video project is done. I'm gonna make a stream schedule this weekend since I need some order to actually get myself to stream. Same. I feel that on a very deep level. Like, that is precisely why this week's streams have just been... They've been late as hell. Like, if we're being honest. They've been late as hell because I just have not... I didn't make a stream schedule at the beginning of the week, so I just have not motivated. Like, since I didn't do that, there has been so much nothing. A whole lot of nothing burger, as the kids say. Got Monster Rancher Mondays, and that's it so far. Hey, you know what? That's a good way to... That's a very good place to start. Oh! Oh! Why would you do this to me? When I first started getting into streaming, that was actually something I did. What the Heck Wednesday was originally called Wonderlands Wednesdays, and that was my dedicated day for playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And then I beat it, so then I had to find something else to do instead. But I think having a themed day like that, it brings a certain sense of consistency. Like, it's not necessarily you have to play such a game on such a day. Alright, the EPs are taking over. Time to go to Sleepy Time Junction. Or try to. It's the first Eagles game tonight in the bar right across the street from where I live, and people are loud as fuck. Oof! Well, I wish you all the luck with that, Nova. I hope you can get some rest. Emphasis on hope. Eagles fans be wildin', as they say. One of my friend's husbands is actually, I'm pretty sure he's an Eagles fan. Maybe I should check up on him to see how he's doing. Like, hey buddy, first game of the season, how you doing? Yeah, fine, fair. That's just mean. Alright, time to get bodied. Okay, maybe not as badly as I thought. Thus far, anyway. You know when things are going a little too well, and you're like, not exactly sure you know what to do with it, and you're just waiting for the other shoe to drop? That's about where I'm at right now. Come on, why can't you give me the other thing? The frickin'... what's his name? My favorite Balatro mod is the one that adds a mode where you spell words for points. Ooh. That sounds interesting. Dang it. You know, with this Joker, I probably should have taken the moon instead. Oh well. This is about to run out anyway, so I'm just gonna sell it. That's free. Listen, if this is going down, we're gonna get all the use out of it that we can in the meantime. Also, thanks for reminding me it's been a hot minute since I actually did Wordle or anything. No, you know what? I'm... Pokemon encrypted in card sleeves equals a fun time. I will have to take your word for it. I was saying something and I forgot. You seeing this shit? You seeing this shit, Squidward's house? I'm gonna leave things like Wordle and Scramble and stuff like that to my betters, aka those who don't have a spelling disability. You have your own set of skills that do not involve those, and that is perfectly fine. Thank you for reminding me what I was about to rant about before this fucking happened. So the New York Times, which hosts the Wordle game, they have a few games that are free to play, you know, like the Wordle, Spelling Bee, things like that. Uh-oh. Oh, chat, I think we're cooked. I was too busy ranting. Oh, cool. But, of course, they've got the crossword puzzle. And, you know, various other things like that. They also have a mini crossword puzzle. I'm tempted to grab just for the sake of the polychrome. And it's free, so like... What was I talking about? Oh, right, the New York Times. So, in addition to their regular crossword, they have a mini crossword. And you used to be able to play the mini crossword for free. No problem. They put that behind the paywall now, too. So now you have to pay for the subscription to even be able to do the mini. And it's like, no. Why would I want to pay for a subscription? God damn it. Why would I want to pay for a subscription? Aha! For something that I used to be able to do for free. Not even that. For something I literally used to be I can sometimes do in like anywhere between 30 and 90 seconds usually. That's how long it takes. For me to do the New York Times mini crossword puzzle whenever I've done it. And it's not like I'm gonna pay for it anyway, but I've been especially disincentivized from doing so. Also, this is gonna run out like next round, and we are so boned. We're so boned after that. Like, we're gonna get to the final ante, the boss and everything, and we're just... That's just how it be sometimes. It really do. You know what? Thrilling. I've got 2 Eternals. Got that. I don't want to give that up. Alright. Oh, it's a good thing I sold that. All face cards are going to be debuffed. Where's all hit? Come on, Sigil. Fuck. Your face card has been declined. Even without that, we are so boned. Oh yeah, we are very cooked. Oh, you had a bad day, so you eat a block of cheese. Make room for more cheese. Take shit out the cheese. Make room for more cheese. This time it's free. Fly on the floor. Can't take any more. Oh, right. Sitting here asking myself, where the hell did this second 5 come from, for completely forgetting that I sigiled right before this. I don't want to hear it, Jimbo. Okay. Worked out for me. What am I doing? I'm doing it wrong. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, that works. This outfit imbues me with the power of Balatro itself. I am become the real Jimbo. Hello, the world. All flushes and straights can be made with 4 cards. Yeah, why not? Take that. You know, maybe I like Jupiter so much as a card because I look like it. I've got the orange and the red and everything. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is not going to end well for me. I know it's not. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe not with that attitude, anyway. Well, beans. Thank you. 5 points for debuffed Ace. Game? I really hope that wasn't just me. Or that was. Oh no! I broke it. Oh. At this fucking guy. This was the one I wanted. $3. Ooh. Did not mean to do that. But here we are anyway. This just means we are so not gonna make this. Ah, well. That just was not gonna happen, and you know what? That is perfectly fine. Can't win them all. And if you can, you're a hot dog, a showboater, a grandstander, but most of all, you're a liar, too. Or you just play with mods. I don't care. I'm not judging. I'm not the boss of you. Video game, man. You just play things how you want to play them. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Also, I just realized that Balatro looked like it was obscenely loud for you guys. I apologize. Is this what they mean when they say limited time credit offer? That you have to act now? Is that what this means? Yes, okay. I don't know, I've never been one to have such credit offers extended to me. Maybe I'm just too poor for that. That's totally how that works, right? Anyway. The bean. What am I supposed to do with all these cards? This is the entire fucking deck, I guess. This is how you really get all your full houses. God damn it. Whatever. It's free, it's for me. We'll take it. At least we have something that gives us more ability to score, I guess. Well, that wasn't the one I wanted to click, but you know what? Same number. Yay! Stop trying to sell me on the troubadour. I don't want the troubadour. I'm not gonna say all my homies hate the troubadour, but like, I just don't like it. You're taking away one of my hands. I like my hands. Jimbo, are you mad because I took your look and I'm wearing it better than you? Is that what this is all about? I'm certain that's what this is all about. Take that. Yeah, specifically out of spite. Jimmy is probably mad you're wearing his outfit better than him. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Fucking Jimbo wishes he could pull it off this good. You know what else it is? There is sometimes a line that you can get when you lose a run where he's like, if I had hands, I would cover my eyes. Maybe he's jealous because I do in fact have the entire outfit. And that I'm not just a head. I'm not just this. I think we've cracked the mystery. We've solved the mystery of why Jimbo is such a fuckboy. It's because he is unendingly jealous. Of the fact that we have hands and such. And that we can wear his own outfit better than him. I've solved the mystery. Not just me. We've solved the mystery. We did it, chat. Oh, my bean's about to expire. You know, I made that joke about the limited time credit offer, but they're coming back and offering it to me again. This limited time credit offer does not seem so limited time. I'm pressing X to doubt. We're taking Splash, though, because Splash is helpful. In my humble onion. You know, I love how the follow-up to the paintbrush, whatever that is, you have to get your hand size down to 5. You know what? Let's arm. Cards of Steel. One in 7. This is more than 1 in 7. I'm calling. Hello? I'm lodging a formal complaint against Jimbo. That was definitely more than 7. Consarn it. No, my bean. I ate the bean. It's free, it's for me. Well, let's see what the buffoon pack has to offer us before we take that. God damn it. Wait, actually. That gives us 10 mult for every club in the club. It's about to run out anyway, so we need to stop relying on it and at least get the money for it. Emperor, that was the name of the fucking... Take that. Not the flush I wanted, but the flush we're getting anyway. Oh boy. Well, we just got 777, so that's gotta be good for something, right? That did not do as much as I'd hoped. Oh boy. Oh no. Shut up, Jimbo. What a flop. I know how to flop you. Throw your face down. Oh well, let's give it another go. God dang it. Well. You know what? This is definitely not the run. We'll just pretend that never happened. My favorite way to do things. Not really, but... This could be helpful. Let me see. No, wait, that... My brain's just shutting down. My brain is shutting down so hard I cannot Balatro remotely at all. Dang it. Oh well. Plenty more game to be had. Not you. That one. Don't know if I've ever said it on stream. Probably not, because I wasn't playing it very much. Or like the thought just never occurred. When you get wild card jokers like that, not jokers, wild cards like that, if you have jokers that add like malt or chips to a certain suit. Like, if you have multiple of those, the wild card procs on all of them. So say if I had the thing that gave me like +3 mult for each diamond and +3 mult for each spade, it would trigger if I played this. So I would get the mult on that. Just a little something to keep in mind if you are the avid Balatro player. And if you're not, well, now it's a little fun fact that you now know. Dang it! Really? This is how we're gonna play it. Well, this is very much how we're gonna play it. Thank you. This is still not gonna get me frickin' anywhere. Thank you for the Balatro pro tips. Warning, these tips are not actually anywhere near professional. These are just, oh, neat. That I found out one way or the other. If you want more Balatro pro tips, you will have to ask somebody who is not me. Right now, the only thing I'm a Balatro pro at is this outfit. Because Jesus Christ, look at this hand. No, we're not even messing with that anymore. I'll mess with this though. Definitely mess with that. Ooh, it's a Joker! And it's not even perishable. I love it here. Okay, okay. Let's get rich. Maybe. Every spade. Well, we currently do not have those. It's okay. It's okay. It is getting less okay by the moment. God damn it! Jimbo, I hate you. Jimbo is not being very nice, and we all know it's because he's just jealous of my fit. No. No. Nah. Yep, just keep re-rolling. Cool. Jimbo, you ignorant slut. Can you actually hit the one I'm clicking on? Thank you, that would be very helpful. My favorite thing to do sometimes for the funnies is playing a debuffed card, because you still get the base amount of points for it. Fine. It really wants me to have this devious Joker. So close. Not as close. And now we're just going up and down either side of a straight while missing the key component. Nope. Yes, give me all these vouchers that I will not be able to buy. Exactly what I wanted. Look at all those chickens. Chickens, in this case, meaning vouchers. And can we actually click on the cards that I want and not just click the same ones twice? That would be mighty helpful, I think. Look at all these vouchers that I will not buy. It really wants me to have the oops all sixes. Well, guess what? I cannot afford it. I don't have the thing that makes my 4 cards worth anything. Without Splash, it's not gonna work. That's just not anything. It is so much nothing burger, as they say. I say as if I didn't just do it without too much trouble. Don't worry about it. Oh, so it counts. Oh. I see. I see, said the blind barista. Okay. Take Mystic Summit because that's easy to fulfill. This is probably not going to work out in my favor. It did! Yippee! You know, why not? Wheel of Fortune, you never worked for me. All these hands. All these hands. None of them are what I want. Take that, though. Yay! Turn a normally 5-point hand into however much that was. I can't count. Counting is for people who pay attention to the numbers. That's not me. I wholeheartedly admit it. Such an individual is not. Oh, I should have discarded that 10 to get. Poop. You know, one of these moments I will actually remember what it is I could be doing to make this go easier for myself. There we go. I got lucky because this one usually just kicks my teeth in. Oh, I don't even like that one. I'm not a fan of this one. Get him out of here. Oh, no! That is not what I wanted to look at. Oh... That's a late game card. This is not late game. Jimbo. I'm not doing it. Okay, fine. Egg Eternal. Okay, but... I totally did that completely wrong. It's okay. We'll see. Okay. We can pull this out. Somehow. We cannot pull this out. I am calling it now. Yeah, we're cooked. We folded like a cheap suit. Shut up, Jimbo. Well, we've got another ad break coming up momentarily. So I think we're going to switch off and do something else for now. What that is, I have not quite figured that out. But give me a couple minutes and I will get that sorted. we'll be back with some more of something. I don't want to stop just yet. We've only been going for like an hour. I want to go at least a little bit longer. Let me see what I can rustle up, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Sort of. We're... It's dark in here. Who turned out the lights? There we go. I don't know why it's scaled like that, but you know what? Yay, we're back. Yay! At least for a little bit. Frankly, I didn't really know what to do for a little bit, so might as well just chill and hang out. Do some PowerWash SImulator. That's usually a good time, I think. Hell yeah, let's wash shit. Yeah, Jimbo needs to clean up his act. I don't think he's in here. Somebody may have modded him in just for such a reason, but until such a thing occurs, we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna keep going. Basically until I don't want to. Whether that means we will actually clean up the entire map, or what? See, this is what I get for trying to edit things in, like, real time. Don't mind me. What is the text I usually use anyway? Also, why is this one so goddamn huge? Okay. Forget it! I was trying to fill the negative space. I was trying to fill the void in, you know, that surrounds me. You know, actually. Where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Nope, that's me. That is not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. You, get out of here. You, get out of here. Okay. Why can't I have nice things? Oh well, I guess this is just how it's gonna be. It's the last stream before vacation anyway. It doesn't matter. I can't remember if PowerWash SImulator actually has any music or anything. So we'll just put this on for now. Or if it's just the PowerWash sounds that we want. Also, it's been a minute since I've played this, so don't mind me not remembering how to wash things. Wash you arm, wash you leg, wash you soul. There we go. I did not mean to do that. God damn it! Maybe the reason this is a wash is because this is a whole this final stream night has been a wash. Let's try this again for the 4th time. Am I being melodramatic? Maybe. Okay, I did have volume. Now, you know what? Let's start some smaller things. Let's just wash some cars. Maybe this will be more agreeable. At least I'm hoping it'll be more agreeable. Hell yeah, we got water sounds. Now we're talking. Now we're washing? Yes. Exactly what we want. Let's just wash some cars for a little bit. Ain't nothing too fancy. I pushed the button to turn you. Please turn. Man, it's a good thing I don't have to pay my water bill for this. I can only imagine how freaking expensive that would get. I never said it would be good. There we go. You gotta get up under everything. That's where the real grime really hangs out. Hangs out underneath your tires. And it makes you look especially silly when you're like crawling around on the floor. All freaking Colonel. Try to wash this car, but I'm dummy thick. Slap my ass cheeks, keep slapping this step ladder that I'm trying to use to get on the roof. Is that in the new Metal Gear, the new remake Metal Gear? That's totally how that goes, right? Slap, it's the way my ass cheeks scream. Ass clapper? I'm still in a dream, ass clapper. That's exactly what all of this is. Hey, yep, you got it. I knew it. Nothing but, pure unadulterated genius here at the cafe when it comes to games that have never been played at all. Metal Gear Solid, I hardly know her. She metal on my gear until I'm solid. That's totally why there's different characters with those kinds of names, right? We got Solid Snake and Liquid Snake. That's exactly what that's about, right? You know, I'm sure there's a way to move this. Do I know what it is? No. Yep. Yeah. I love getting validation for spreading misinformation. Oh, there. Imagine that. The prompt that came up. The prompt that tells me to do the things allows me to do the things. Who would have thought such a novel concept? Oh, that's the thing to turn it on. Multi-purpose. That sounds like our speed. Sounds like exactly what we need, considering a car has all kinds of materials. I think in the like career mode, you have all kinds of different materials, and you only get like limited supply of things. So you gotta spend it wisely. You can't just be sitting here scrubbing the same spot and hoping something changes. But that's the problem. Sometimes things do change. See? We scrubbed at the same spot for 8 hours and it finally worked in our favor. It's the same PowerWash SImulator for 5 hours. We finally unearthed our logo. We had to step back from it because we were too close. We power washed too close to the sun. I like the green one the most because it's got like the most... Maybe not the most, but it feels like it has the most utility. It's got that wide sweeping angle, but you can still definitely get all in on stuff. Yes, this is what we come to the cafe for. Professional Power Wash Simulator commentary and gameplay tips about a game I have not played in I don't even remember how long. For now. Yes, it's exactly what we're here for. Nothing but the highest quality here at the cafe. Did you know that during the Civil War, there were 2 men from a county in upstate New York who were from the same town? The population of their town at the time was, I think, around 400 people. Yet of the 400 people in that town, these 2 guys in particular both became Medal of Honor recipients for their service in the Civil War. What are the odds of that? Like, there were only 4 Medal of Honor recipients in that whole county for the Civil War, and 2 of them came from this tiny town of 400 people. Like, what are the odds? And it's green! You're so right. Green is a very good color. You know, it's like the cleanest color. It's the best. It's environmentally friendly because everybody's like, you need to go green. We've solved it. I'm sure there's probably been debates in the past about the hottest, most useful Power Wash Simulator spray head. We've solved it. We've come up with the real answer right here. Those guys' names, Sabrina Carpenter and Jenna Ortega. Yep, totally. And the funny thing is, one of those guys actually was using a pseudonym. It wasn't really that much of a pseudonym because his first name was like Louis or Louis. And the pseudonym that he served under was... He just changed his last name and the spelling of his first name, basically, if I remember correctly. Oh, to have a name, you can change the spelling of... Breve is not exactly a name to change the spelling of. The only thing you change is whether or not there are accents, and that just depends on how well computer systems want to work with you. Generally, they don't. There we go accentless all the time. Okay, so I'm a teacher's assistant, right? One of the kids I was working with today looked me dead in the eyes as soon as I sat down and said, and I quote, "The Cold War." He is 8. Yeah. Was there any follow-up to this, or was it just the Cold War, end of story? To be fair, I know a guy who, when he was that age, he probably would have said something like that. I think he was the kind of guy whose parents just sort of let him read whatever. It's like, he's reading, isn't he? That's fine. He's probably seen worse. That he was a... big into military history kind of stuff, so that was more the kind of stuff he was reading. It was just the Cold War. What makes it funnier is that he's mostly non-verbal. That's it. Maybe that's him saying, this is exactly what you can talk about to get me to actually engage. Stranger things have probably happened. Imagine playing PowerWash SImulator and forgetting that the roof of the van counts as the body of the car. Couldn't be me. Alright, I forgot I had to do those. It's like I'm cleaning nothing at all. Nothing at all. Are you kidding me? I've stood here and scrubbed this thing 5 times. We do be scrubbing though. Fan looks fantastic. Sweet. You do be scrubbing. That's what IBS really stands for. I be scrubbing. And this thing is dirty as hell. Actually. Go with the multi-purpose. You know, I think we're gonna have to transfer to a more tightly focused one for this. Because of how small it is. How many nooks and crannies. Will not rest until I have investigated every suspicious looking nook and cranny. That'll be funny later, I promise. If/slash when I ever get to the Edgeworth investigation game. When he does his investigation thing, that's like his line he always says. I must investigate every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Speaking of nooks and crannies, now I'm just thinking about Animal Crossing. You guys play Animal Crossing? If you did, feel free to pop off about it. I had the original to the US Animal Crossing for the GameCube. If memory serves, the original that came out in Japan was called like Animal Forest or something like that, and it was on the 64. But the US didn't get anything until Animal Crossing for the Cube. Yeah. Did you like playing Animal Crossing? I get mixed opinions on it. Like, things that got changed over the years, things that people hated as a result. I've owned every version of it, aside from the 64 version. Nice. Does that also include, like, the various... I guess spin-off is the word I want to use? Like, what was it? Happy Home Designer? The fun time sink. Nothing is really top Wild World for the DS, though. I've heard that. That is an opinion I have seen strongly shared. Yeah, I got the spin-offs too. Oh, there you go. It may be a time sink, but as long as you find it enjoyable, then what's the problem? I, like most people, like I said, I had the original, and for lack of a better term, I basically completed it at least once. By completed, I mean I at least paid off my house. So yeah, so I ended up getting like the gold statue or whatever it was of my character after however many years of finally doing it. Thankfully, I always get my favorite villager, Tangy, somehow. I love Tangy. Tangy's so cute. You know, I'm sitting here trying to remember who my favorite one is, and I just cannot remember his name. He's a cat, and he always just looks so sleepy. For some reason, I also just really like Apollo, even though he's really sassy to me. On the flip side, are there any, like, characters you don't like? Bob? No, not Bob. Isn't Bob a jock? No, he's like dark blue, I think. I have a gigantic plushie of his head. It is the size of the cushion I'm sitting on my chair. That's how big it is. I have it. Do I remember his name? No. There. Frickin' finally. While we watch this time lapse, I can look it up. Because now it's making me upset. Remember how I said we were gonna watch a time lapse? See how that's not happening? I've broken it. No, Bob's lazy. What am I? Punchy! That's his fucking name. Punchy is also lazy. I love him very much. You know what I don't love? The fact that I think I broke PowerWash SImulator. I just think he's neat. For some reason, I also like Marshall. He's a squirrel. I just like his vibes. My very first favorite villager. Yeah, I think I broke the game. It's stuck. The one that I absolutely loved the most. He was a goat named Iggy. He was my absolute favorite. But I don't think he's appeared in, like, any of the later ones. He was only in the original. That's not to say Bob isn't cool, too. I just like Punchy more. The kid I adored Rossetti for some reason. I mean, you know what? There's not a reason to not. Like, there's not a reason to not enjoy him anyway. Like, Mance is just doing his job. What I hated more than anything, just being a relatively young person, doing the memory card thing, where you, like, take out the memory card and you lose everything that was, like, in your inventory, and then your face looked like a gyroid. Scariest shit. Just like, yes, my face is now old. That's it. Hated that. I only ever did it on purpose once, just to see what it was like. I'd read about it online. I very specifically made sure to not have anything with me, because I didn't want to lose my money or my items or whatever. And yep, nope, hated every moment of it. The fact that there aren't ferret villagers makes me sad. They would lend themselves to it very well, I think. There's somebody I follow on Twitter who makes Pokemon-style ones. Like, Pokemon if they were Animal Crossing villagers. And one of the more popular ones that I saw that they've done... Well, they've done a bunch of them, but the one I think that probably introduced me to them was their Furret one. So, like, I see the vision. Oh, because I'm pointing at it. Heck, what's his name? Zucker's the one who looks like a takoyaki, right? He's like orange and has like brown sauce on his head. I think that's Zucker, because the only other octopus I know is Octavian. I kind of like him too, but I don't like his attitude sometimes, so I'm just like, you know what, you can go stand over there. I think he's neat. Yeah, I love Zucker. He's so cute. He's an entire snack. Literally, don't actually eat him. That would be mean. But the fact that there are only a certain number of certain kinds of, like, villagers. Like, we've got how many cats across the entire series and only, what, 2 or 3 octopi altogether? Isn't there a space-themed one who's like a robot or something? There's only like a handful of kangaroos. This is what happens when I try to remember things from a series that that I have not even touched in a solid, like, 4 years minimum. The robot frog. Okay. I knew there was some kind of robot something. If I remember correctly, there's somewhere between the realm of like 400 and 500 Animal Crossing villagers altogether. This one streamer I watch, Orange is Borange, she also goes by Aki. She does a game show, and I want to say there's a segment on Dungeonaire, or game show, where you have to, like, guess what species an Animal Crossing villager is. I could be mistaken, and I could be remembering that from something else. But that seems like a question set that would be on there. Because not everybody's name is indicative of who they are. Or, like, what kind of animal they are. Like, there's a cat who's just named, like, Olivia. How the hell are you gonna guess that? I like Coco the gyroid rabbit. Yeah! Listen, I may not like the gyroid look on myself, but Coco makes it work. Who else is it I like? I don't know. I don't have a reason to not like most any of them. There's only one that I, like, actively sort of dislike. And that's not because of anything to do with him. That is entirely to do with somebody else's wild obsession. Like, you know, you get somebody who's just, like, way too obsessed with something, so you just cannot find it in yourself to even remotely enjoy them anymore. That I have that problem with a lot of things. Like, for example, it is one of the reasons I absolutely deeply dislike frickin' Cinnamoroll. Because I just knew somebody who was so completely and utterly obsessed with him that liking Cinnamoroll became part of their personality. It's like, okay, I know you have more of a personality than this. Can you go back to obsessing over something else, please? Spoiler alert, they did not. But to go back to the context of the conversation, it was Stitches. They were very much obsessed with him. To the point where one year I got as a gift, I got them a little stuffed Stitches guy. Which, granted, Stitches is cute as shit. Love him. But their obsession just drove any passive enjoyment to active dislike. Ah, fuck it, that was short. We'll do it again. That's why it was to my unending delight when Cinnamoroll was finally dethroned in the Sanrio popularity poll this year. Granted, he still came in second, but, like, he was first for, like, 4 or 5 years. This would have been either year 5 or year 6 if he had won in a row. Instead, the award went to one of the best dogs, Pom Purin. He gets to show his cute little butt as a treat. It's his charm point. My boy Bats should win every year. He should. He should place higher than he does. Listen, can we just do a popularity poll without... Take the top 3 from the previous year and make them sit out. That way other characters get a chance to shine. By this logic, Hello Kitty would actually win. Because I think she came in 4th this year. And it being Sanrio... No, that was last year. Never mind. Last year, I think, was Sanrio's 50-year anniversary. It was either last year or they were hyping it up for this year, but I think it was last year when I saw all the merch about it. You know who I keep forgetting is a Sanrio character until I think about it, and it's like, oh yeah, he's there. Gudetama, the egg. I think he came in like 17th, which is pretty respectable for a very depressed looking egg. Like, when I first encountered Gudetama, I think it was as, like, a set of Facebook stickers or something like that you could use to message your friends. And I was just like, this guy is very relatable. I enjoy him immensely. And then later, much later, found out he was, in fact, a Sanrio character. Like, oh, okay, cool. Now, of course, we can't talk about Sanrio without talking about the absolute best character, Big Challenges. No, I feel like I shouldn't be as surprised as I was. I think Tuxedo Sam, the penguin, he had a surprisingly strong showing this year. I want to say he was like top 10? If not 10th exactly? I forget Agretsuko is Sanrio. Yeah. I never watched the show of it, even though I wanted to. But then she shows up in the popularity poll, and I'm like, huh? What is this, a crossover episode? No. No, it's not, actually. Now, some of the regularly strong contenders, you know, they are for a reason. Like Karopi, he's a cute little guy. He's just a frog. He's chilling. And I feel like sometimes, now this is probably just me talking out of my rear end, but whenever there's like crossover events with other with other licensed things. I feel like that gives certain characters a bit of a boost. Sanrio, more like Sanrio. They have an Undertale crossover, call it Sansrio, am I right? Oh, I didn't wash the ass of the chassis enough. Yeah, whenever there's like Sanrio crossovers with certain other properties, I feel like some of the characters get a bit more of a boost than they normally would have. Sanrio 2! I forget who he was crossed over with, but I think the I could be completely wrong. The My Hero Academia one. Like, if anything, those crossovers bring in new fans, if that makes sense. They're like, oh, my favorite character. Who is this character that they're with? I remember, of all things, there was a Danganronpa crossover with Sanrio characters. Do I remember who? I know there was a Naruto crossover. Yeah! I remember hearing about that, but I don't know enough about Naruto to say anything one way or any other. Other than, yep, that's a thing. They have a Hello Kitty for Sadako from the ring that I want. Hello Kitty Sadako. You know what? What the hell? Sure. If it works, I guess. I have the Hello Kitty they made of the host of Game Center CX, my favorite Japanese video game show. Oh, hell yeah. I love that for you. That's cool as hell. There we go. Something that really salts my apples sometimes is when there's properties that have like massive, extensive casts of characters. Like so many they don't know what to do with. And they never make any merch of certain ones that you're like a fan of. So it's like, well, I either gotta go online to find somebody else who is just as in love with this character as I am and can actually make art of them, that I will pay way a lot of money just so I can say I have some merchandise of this character, whether or not, even though it's not official. And that's how it is with my favorite Persona character. Which one is that? Is it somebody from Persona 3? You were mentioning Persona 3 yesterday, I think. Like, one of my favorite characters, going back to My Hero Academia, he doesn't appear until, I want to say, at least halfway through the series. Or something like, yeah, let's say Junpei. The name rings a bell. Now, hopefully that means something coming from somebody who has who's barely ever played any of the Persona games. I feel like if I looked him up, I would probably recognize his face. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy, I've seen him. Aren't they, like, remaking Persona 3? Did that come out already? Because I know they've basically remade... They remade 5, like, 500 times. I know they did Persona 4 Golden, but I can't... Yeah, didn't they do Persona 3 Reload? Isn't that what it was called? Ouch. My favorite hero is Suyu. You know what? That is so fair. She's so cute. She's so cute, Ribbit. And yeah, thanks to Reload, there's a bit more merch for Junpei. Oh, good. Good, good, good. There's almost none for his love interest. Oh, no. It seems like it's a very much do not separate them. Why have you separated them? I mean, I'm thinking about it a bit more, and I know... Realistically, I can say that I'm lucky in certain regards to the characters that I like, going back to the My Hero Academia one. There's enough people who are interested in my favorite character to make fan art and merch and stuff. Whereas some people do not get such a luxury. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure most every bit of merch I have for him is fan-made. Except for, like, one thing. That I almost lost in the process of moving. Because I ordered it right before I moved, so it arrived at my old apartment, like, right after I moved. And they had package lockers. So I had to basically go to the property managers or whatever and be like, please, please let me in. Please, may I have my package? No, actually, that wasn't it. I caught the mail guy. Like, I was there when the guy was delivering the mail. I was like, please, 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 may I have my package? And I was able to prove I was myself or whatever he needed, and I got it. Please, oh please, let me have my reversible fat gum plushie and pillow combination plushie and pillow. I'm not saying really much of anything right now because there's an ad going. If you're watching this on the VOD, I don't know, leave a comment. Say, you know, VOD, real VOD hours, who up watching they VODs? Something like that. Comment your favorite character from My Hero Academia or something. I don't know, I'm not good at this. Nobody watches my VODs anyway. But if on the off chance you do, you're here, go for it. Why not? Surprise me. Who up twitching they vid? Yeah, exactly. Who up twitching they VODs? Yes, exactly. You said I still need to finish My Hero one of these days. You and me both. You and me both, Jordan. I think part of the reason that I haven't finished it, or like caught up with it, or I guess I know, is when I was actively watching it and keeping up with it previously, it was with this same former friend of mine. I think it was something that we spent a lot of time doing. We really bonded over it. You know, it was just a thing we did together. Like when they showed the movies in the movie theaters, we dressed up in cosplay and we made a whole thing of going over to the movie theater and seeing it. Because they didn't show it in any theaters anywhere close to us. We had to drive at least an hour to get to one that actually was showing the movie. But yeah, I basically have not watched it in a couple of years. I started rewatching it with my partner because he hadn't watched it before, and I don't even think we've made it past the sports festival, the sports festival arc. I don't even think we made it to the beginning of that yet. So like we've not really started. Let's put it this way, Aizawa and Present Mike still have their original voice actors as far as that watch party is concerned. How it was for me when the live-action Death Note movies came out. Only theater was showing was like an hour away. Yeah. I don't know why it's like this one particular theater that's only an hour or so from where I am. Like, it always has those kind of events and stuff. As far as I know, it's not like any fancy chain kind of one. It's not like Regal Cinemas or IMAX. It's like a relatively local one. But they still do that kind of stuff all the time. Like when they did the limited re-release of the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie in April. When they did limited runs of that in the theater. That theater was doing it. I wanted to go see it, but I didn't have the time or the money. Because the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie is one of my, I guess you could say it's my favorite. It's... No, you know what? I will say, it is one of my favorite movies. Like, it's not completely accurate to the book by any means, but what film adaptation is. That's just how it is. But yeah, they had the limited run of it in theaters, and I just didn't have the means to make it happen. And here I am with my favorite movie being Army of Darkness. Can I be honest here? I've never watched it. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I've never watched it. Would that fall under, like, a general umbrella of scary horrorness, or am I just completely off base? That's the one with Bruce Campbell as Ash and his hand's a chainsaw, right? Pretty sure that's what that is. No, that's Ash versus the Evil Dead. Isn't Army of Darkness one of them? Yep, horror comedy. Okay, yeah. was pretty sure one of them was Army of Darkness. Yeah, I know who Ash is because pop culture, and also I've played Dead by Daylight. So I'm familiar with him in that regard. Army of Darkness is part of the Evil Dead franchise overall. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Hadai. Yeah, basically, if the term horror is in any description of it anywhere, I just have not watched it. Not out of a lack of interest, mind you. It was more... Horror movies were my mom and my brother's thing that they did together. So whenever they were watching scary movies, I was unceremoniously shuffled out of the room. Which makes sense. My brother is also like 8 years older than me. So it was, oh, you're not... This movie isn't for you. You're not old enough to watch this. It was that kind of stuff. And if I'm being honest, we'll do the golf cart one more time. Some of the, or most of the horror movies I've seen so far in my adult life, I'm not exactly impressed. Like, I don't necessarily mean I want to be, like, in the, you know, sitting in my house, screaming, crying, throwing up, freaking out, whatever, because of a movie. But the few that I've watched, I've just been, okay. I have a thing for collecting the most absurd horror movies in existence. I counted anything that was deemed a horror at any point in the description, and even if they clearly aren't. Case in point, on one of said horror movies is Bubba the Redneck Werewolf. That does sound pretty horrifying as a concept. You have to have a taste for that kind of thing. Yeah, and it's just one that I have yet to cultivate. Because, like, I will readily admit, I have not seen, like, the classics. I haven't seen Halloween, I haven't seen Friday the 13th, I haven't seen any licensed killer that's in Dead by Daylight. Their source material, I have not watched it. I will readily admit that. And could I? Probably. Would I at least enjoy being exposed to such a thing? Probably. Have I done it? No. Am I going to? I don't know. I only really got into horror films because of one of my exes. It do be like that sometimes. That was the only reason I ever watched the fucking HBO series Rome. Which, granted, I thought was very good. I enjoyed it immensely. Do I remember much of anything about it other than, oh lord, there are people with their dicks out and my boyfriend is trying to, like, turn this into a thing, even though it's clearly not a thing with what's happening on screen right now. Or maybe I'm just muddling memories, because this shit happened, like, over 13 years ago. But I digress. I don't know, maybe I just haven't had the right people to enjoy the experience with. Because the only horror movies I can really remember actively watching in my adult years is The Shining. And I don't even remember which one, but I know I've seen one of the Conjuring movies. Because for one of the Conjuring movies, I was in college. It was during my semester abroad, and a bunch of the other international students were getting together to, you know, have a scary movie night. They were like, you want to come? I was like, okay, sure. I want to say it might have been 2? I feel like there was a 2 in the title. Point is, I got away with not getting jump scared by stuff as much because one of the girls who was next to me, she kept jumping and clinging onto me instead. Peak horror film watching is making jokes with friends while watching the film. And that's an experience I have not had. The first time I watched The Shining, I watched it with a friend. And I think she was just mostly keeping quiet because she knew I hadn't seen it yet. It was just, you know, letting me have the experience of watching it for the first time. I'm a level with you. From what I remember, it was kind of boring. Maybe I just don't have a taste for, you know, those kinds of movies where there's like long, tensious build-up and that's part of the appeal. I don't know, man. I had the same exact reaction when I finally watched Titanic for the first time. That's like 3 hours of my life I'm never getting back. Like a solid half of that movie is just Jack, Rose. Oh, I hate Titanic. Finally, somebody gets it. I watched it with a family member that I was staying with after I had surgery when I was in college. She was like, you've never seen it? Let's watch it. So we made a whole fucking thing of it. And oh my god! I don't know if it was just like massively overhyped before I watched it, so I was expecting some kind of something. I was so bored. I'm pretty sure I almost fell asleep watching it. Like, this is what everybody lost their fucking bosoms over in '97? I am glad I was only like 2 years old when this happened. Jesus. Like, Jimmy Cameron, I love you, but Titanic ain't it. I have something to say, but I don't want to get in trouble, so I won't say it. Let's just say that there are other purposes the Titanic has served that do not have to do with James Cameron. Yeah, no, when I watched The Shining for the first time, I was like, okay, I know this is supposed to be like sort of psychological, and it delves it, you know, it takes a while to get there, but it felt like it took way too long to get there. By the time we actually got to the part where I should have been unsettled and or scared or whatever, it was like, oh, okay, finally, something's happening. All exposition and no action makes Barista a dull girl. I don't know, maybe now that I'm older, I could watch it again and maybe have a different opinion on it. I don't know. I don't know, maybe this is the year I finally do something about it. I finally actually sit down and watch a bunch of scary movies and stuff like that. Or maybe not scary movies, but horror movies. My partner is a fan of horror stuff, so maybe watching it with him would give me a fresh perspective. Like, here's the perspective. I'm watching it with somebody who has the perspective of liking it. So maybe I can find the redeeming qualities in it by watching it with this person. Maybe, I don't know. I love The Shining, but I 100% get it. Even if you don't, that is totally fine. We are all allowed to have our opinions on things. Speaking of, apparently this is just the night of my movie hot takes. So I I never watched The Nightmare Before Christmas until I was like 19. And this was before like Disney Plus and Hulu and all this was a thing. This was 11 years ago, let's say. Yeah, the math is mathing. 11 years ago. So it was on Netflix. And I want to say it was like September or October, something like that. It was getting to be the appropriate time of year to watch it. So I was like, you know what? Everybody and their freaking grandma loves this movie so much. Maybe it's time to see what all the hype is about. So I sat there. I watched it. I was like, okay. I mean, it was good, but I'm not gonna fucking pee myself about it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and fucking cream my pants just because I saw Jack Skellington somewhere. And the problem with that, I find, is that if you say to somebody who, like, even remotely likes The Nightmare Before Christmas, if you say, I don't know, I don't really like it that much, they'll get all offended. They'll take it like a personal affront that you do not like one of the movies that they've made their entire personality. It's like, okay, sorry, I have other interests outside of fucking this, outside of making my hyperfixations and other things my entire personality. Sorry, I want to have more of a personality than Jack Skellington fan number one. Enjoyed Nightmare Before Christmas, but it was ruined for me by the goth girl who stalked me in high school. That is horrifying, and I hate that for you. Like I said, it's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination. I enjoyed it. But if you, like I said, if you say to somebody that you only, you know, think it's okay and you don't treat it like the second coming of goddamn Jesus, they get all upset. And then, this same former friend of mine, they are one of the people who made, no, they still do, I assume, who makes liking it, and, you know, oh, Halloween, Christmas, makes liking all of that a majority of their personality. So, it was end of August they would start watching it, and sing along, and say every word of the movie the entire time. Multiple times this movie would be watched over the course of months. And at some point it was just like, okay, can we do literally anything else? I am so sorry for you. You know what? I'm sorry for me too. Because I went from feeling, you know, fairly neutral about that movie. It's like, okay, yeah, this is fine. To now, the mere mention of it, and I make faces and I roll my eyes and I don't want to say I get mad, but it's just like, ugh, with this shit again. Like, this isn't to say that you're not allowed to like things. Like, that is the opposite of what I'm trying to say. But liking something to the point of obsession, where that's like the only thing you talk about and do and deal with for months on end. Like, I get that there's... Like, I get it, but at the same time, holy shit. So yeah, basically that's my biggest hot take about movies. To the point of, there was a post that was on Facebook a few years ago that had a bunch of Halloween movies, you know, more kid-friendly ones, including The Nightmare Before Christmas, if I remember correctly. Like, oh, one of these has to go forever. And I shared that post, and I said my reasoning about how by the time I watched it, it had been massively overhyped, and I ended up disappointed by it. That was the thing that finally got this former friend of mine to, like, unfriend me on Facebook. At least that's my assumption, because that was when I noticed that they were no longer on my friends list. Like, oh, so that's finally what did it. I finally said straight up I didn't like one of your favorite movies. I finally said it straight up, and you didn't like that. Even though I said similar to you multiple times. Now, obviously, I cannot actually prove that this is the case and that was, like, the straw that broke the thing. Or if it was just, you know, a further consequence of them fucking off to a completely different state after all the everything that I basically did for them for the years that we lived together and were friends. But when they moved away, they cried. Or when they moved out, they cried because they didn't want to lose my friendship, and after moving out, they, like, never spoke to me again. Despite the fact that we still lived in, like, proximity to each other, we still worked at the same goddamn place for a while. And they just never spoke to me again. Like, okay, cool. Gasp, how could you? Quite easily, Hadai, quite easily. I said I thought one of their favorite movies was mid. That's how it be sometimes. That is how it be sometimes. God damn it, I'm still pissed off about it. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact of it's this particular time of year that gets me riled up about it all over again. Because not only are we heading into fall and, you know, Halloween stuff again, it was also this time of year when one of their favorite bands came to a city near us, 2.5 hours drive. Their absolute favorite, you know, really hard to get tickets for just because they're so popular. It was My Chemical Romance. I managed to get the tickets to the show. I do not ever distinctly recall them saying a specific thank you for such a thing. Even though again, I paid for the tickets, I did all the driving, I did all the everything, I took care of all the important shit. Just so they could have the experience of seeing their favorite band live. And have it be quoted by them as one of the best nights of their life. Which, as someone who has seen my favorite band in concert, yeah, that's a pretty fucking good feeling. But yeah, that was about this time of year. Oh Jesus, I know how hard it is to get MCR tickets. Yeah. As I recall, I went to work early that day, so I would at least be able to be on my work computer. And have, like, the stable connection and not be trying to look at it on my phone. Which I'm pretty sure is the reason I was the one of the two of us that ended up getting them. But I digress. Okay, I know this is not a chill time. This is me just griping about somebody who, frankly, just did not appreciate me and everything I ever did. And even though it's been years since any of this has happened, I'm still salty about it. So this is not chill. This has turned into me just pissing and moaning. So you know what we're gonna do instead? We're talking about concerts. I am going to go see my favorite band in concert later this month, actually. Nova, I thought you went to bed. What are you doing up? You silly. Yeah, I get to go do that. I get to go see the Stardew Valley Symphony of Seasons concert next month. And you know what? I get to do such things. I get to have such good experiences in my life now. Not only for myself, not for the sake of somebody else, but also I get to do it with somebody who actually, you know, cares about and appreciates me and the efforts that I go to for such things. And that is part of furthering my enjoyment of such things. I woke up to the sounds of PowerWash SImulator, LMAO. Well, I apologize then. The Tiny Hadai is intrigued. What are you intrigued by, Tiny Hadai? I will be more than happy to elaborate on things that require elaboration. Are we intrigued by the Stardew Valley concert? I'm looking forward to that. With the fun that you'll be having with all of that stuff. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't seen my favorite band in concert in 9 years. Why do I keep saying it's been 9 years? I saw them in fucking 2019. That's why I keep saying 6 years then. Because their last tour that brought them anywhere near where I'm at was in 2019, and then of course COVID started. So like everything just got all wonky again. Well, not all wonky. People attempted to take precautions and, you know, be safe, so concerts and stuff just were not a thing. Which is understandable. Better safe than sorry. But now nobody's being safe and everybody's being sorry, but they're not taking any responsibility about it. Why I get asked the question, why do you still wear a mask? Are you sick? No, I'm wearing a mask so I don't get sick. Unlike you, I don't want to raw dog whatever illnesses are floating around since it's back to school season. The latest variant of the flu. The latest COVID variant that gives people hemorrhoids. And, you know, is colloquially referred to as razor blade throat. COVID hit and just became, for what? 10,000 years I slumbered. God, I wish. But yeah, so this is the first time that they're coming back to this side of the ocean because they're based out of Finland. Somehow, I got lucky enough to have one of my favorite bands play at our little city fair. Oh, hell yeah, I'd love that for you. What band is it, if you do not mind me asking? I always love to hear about new music and stuff. Aha! Sublime. That sounds familiar. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, the Stardew Valley Symphony of Seasons. This is like the second musical tour that they're doing, going around playing music from the game. The first one was just called Festival of Seasons. And that was more of a chamber music thing, and they actually released that on live music streaming services so you can listen to it. That one also came to a city sort of nearish to me. But I just didn't have the time or the money to be able to go. I would wear a mask, but it caused a lot of sensory issues, so I only wear one when I get sick so I don't get others sick. I mean, that's fair. I mean, there's so many different kinds of masks and stuff that finding one that's like a comfortable fit without compromising the face seal and everything, sometimes it's a bit of a tall order. The other night I went into Walmart and there was a guy who like gave me a thumbs up when I was walking in. I'm not entirely sure if he was being sarcastic or not because he was not wearing one. So it's like, oh, okay. Are you being sarcastic? Is that what's happening here? And glasses get foggy. Yeah, that is also one thing that's hard to finagle with. But that also goes back into finding one that fits with like a really good seal. And unfortunately, some of the ones that have that kind of stuff in mind are the more expensive ones. So it's harder to want to make that investment. I get it. I lucked out and I found that they sell 3M brand Aura masks at my local Target. I do have the vaccine and booster. I still need to find where to get my most updated one. I think there are some pharmacies near me that are doing it now. Like, they just announced it. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Probably do that before I, you know, go to these concerts and stuff. I had somebody ask me when the last time I was vaccinated for it was, and I was like, it's been a while. I haven't been able to, you know, actually get one. But that was just because of a scarcity and lack of availability. And it's like, I would rather... No thanks, I choose life. Like I said, there's all these new variants and stuff, so of course there's gonna be hopefully updated vaccines and stuff. And to my knowledge, there are. I just gotta find where I can get them in my area. But I was talking to one of my coworkers at one of my jobs because she was asking me why, and I was like, well, among other things, so I don't get sick, you know, to protect myself and to protect other people around me, because there are immunocompromised people who are out in the world, and not all of them might be able to take the precautions. They might not be able to get vaccinated. They might not be able to mask for one reason or another. So it's like, if this is the very least I can do to help make somebody's world a little bit safer, you know, not just my own, I will gladly do it. Like me, with cystic fibrosis and all that fun stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, that's... But it's like, you don't know what other people are going through. You don't know anything about them. So it's like the least you can do to make things easier for not even just other people, but yourself. It's a nice mindset to have. Well, thanks. That and I explained it like at one of my jobs, my other job that I wasn't working at that particular moment. One of my jobs, a majority of the people who are around me, like who work in the same building, most of them are like over the age of 70. Now, it's not like I work in a nursing home or anything, but they're all significantly older. And I mean, it's not necessarily my job to protect them or anything, because I obviously can't do that, but it's something I can do to try and not make things worse. Like, overall, I feel like if I can do my best to not make things worse for somebody, whether that's wearing something on my face for however long I'm out in public, whether it's getting a shot and feeling not so great for a couple of days, I'm more than willing to do that. I will gladly face a tiny inconvenience rather than for the benefit of myself and others than to just run around and make things worse. Surprisingly, I don't think I ever had it. I don't think, because there was a time when I was at a job before and I was sick for a while with something that the doc on site couldn't figure out, so sometimes I wonder if I had COVID way before it was known. I know for a fact I have had it twice. at least twice, maybe 3 times. The first 2 times, it like really knocked me on my ass. You know, high fever, body aches, and I was just out for the count. I couldn't do much of anything for like a few days other than just lay around and be miserable. Now, one of the first times I had it was when it was still early on, and you could actually get the time off of work because, you know, you probably shouldn't be running around with the ability to spread a disease that could potentially, you know, disable and hurt other people. The second time, I didn't get, like, any time. I gave the test results, like, I sent them along to the proper people, like I was told to. I was like, yeah, you'll get your paid sick time for this. I fucking did not. So yeah, I must have had it at least 3 times, symptomatically. Because the third time, I actually don't know if it was COVID or if I was just having some kind of other illness. I don't remember at this point. I was at work, and a customer straight up asked me, she was like, oh, do you have COVID or something? And, you know, she was one of those bad faith kind of people who, you know, she was trying to, like, oh, I'm gonna own this person wearing a mask. You know, they're gonna say, no, I'm not sick, and I'm gonna, you know, do some kind of gotcha. That did not work out in her favor when I said, yeah, probably, but I can't afford to take the time off of work, so here I am. She very visibly moved toward the door and stayed more than 6 feet away from me for the rest of the transaction. Which was lucky for her, she had her fucking husband there to deal with it. I don't know, it's just like there's so much information out there about how bad all this kind of stuff is. Like, about how, like, about all the damage that having even one COVID infection causes to your entire system. Like, it completely fucks up your cardiovasculars. You know, I feel like if they had said way earlier on that, you know, catching COVID could give you ED, a lot of the, especially men in government, would have taken it a lot more seriously. Because it's true. It does. If it fucks up with your cardiovascular system, that affects all your blood flow. Your fucking ding-dong ain't gonna work, you ding-dong. Ding-dong ain't gonna work if you can't get the proper blood flow because you got COVID so many times that your body just doesn't work the way it's supposed to anymore. And the fact that it's just become, like, taboo to do anything in the interest of public health these days. Okay, where is this one tiny spot that I need to hit? Now I'm getting mad. I've done this how many times and I still always miss something? There it is. Yeah, I think I said it also. One of the... Caring about others? Pfft, who does that? The fucking libs. Fucking bleeding heart liberals. It's like, cool, if that's the worst thing that you can call me, that's perfectly fine with me. There's one guy who volunteers at one of my jobs. And a few years ago, I actively heard him using that sentence, like using that phrase unironically. I do not remember what the rest of the context of that phrase was, but he said it in a very derogatory tone of voice. And it was like, bro, I already don't like you because you think way too much of yourself and how important you and your work are. because you're hyper-fixated on your family that you're only related to by marriage. You know, like, your mom married this one guy and that's how you're related. I already think you're a pompous dickhole, but you saying bleeding heart liberal like it's a goddamn insult? No, get away from me. People with fucking empathy. What's that? That sounds like a snack. No, maybe I'm thinking of empanadas. Again, I love how this total relative chill fest just turned into me bitching about absolutely everything I can come up with. I don't know, it makes me think of this one thing I've seen online. It's like, I deadass don't know how to tell you you should care about other people. It's like, obviously there's a lot wrong with the world just as it is. Again, COVID's still running rampant. Fucking genocides across the world in multiple different places that, you know, governments at large are just not really doing anything about or even acknowledging. Or if they do, they're doing it in a passive voice like, oh, these people are dying. How could this have happened? I don't know. Maybe your government is funding the, you know, genocide and mass starvation of all these people. But no, we're not going to mention that. We don't talk about that. Vent stream. Fucking apparently. Apparently that's what this is. I don't know. There's just something that's happened, and I don't know if... I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of some things. Like, it's a byproduct of a lot of other things. Like, older generations pulling up the ladder behind them, not caring about young people. Being like, oh, you kids have it so easy. Why don't you just do this, this, and this? And it's like, bro, that's not the way that's not the way the world works anymore. You are living in a completely different world that doesn't exist. Like, when your parents died, you inherited a house and however much money in liquid assets that your parents had. You know what I inherited when I died? Or when my mom died? A whole bunch of kitchen shit that has been sitting in a storage unit for 10 years because I don't know where, if I ever will be able to use it. You know what else I inherited? Trauma. I mean, I had that before she died anyway, but that's beside the point. I don't know, it's just like a lot of the things that used to be don't work the way they used to. And that's not a flaw. That's not a flaw. That's a feature. That's the way it was meant to be. That's just the way the system is designed. Yeah, once she gets going, you kind of can't stop her. I mean, sure you can. You just gotta make me feel embarrassed about it. You just gotta either make me feel embarrassed about it or straight up tell me to shut the fuck up. In which case, I will be embarrassed. So, yeah, embarrass me. That's all you gotta do, and I'll stop. Nah, no need to be embarrassed. M-bar ass. I don't know, it's just so endlessly frustrating to live in a world where, you know, you get taught... When I was a kid, now I'm going into my boomer rants. Why, for having feelings? Yeah, sometimes. It's just so endlessly frustrating to be taught when you're a kid, oh, treat others the way you want to be treated. And then when you do that as an adult, they're like, why are you doing that? Like, bro, you taught me to treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't want to be treated the way that, you know, certain people have to live because of the way things are, because of the way the government and all the people in power make things. I don't want a world like that. I don't want to live in a world where people have to go on Twitter and other online places just to beg for money so they can get fucking food for the day. I don't like living in a world where every time I open any form of social media, all I see is, like, headlines from various sources about how many people have been killed because my government is supplying money and weapons to kill people on behalf of a regime that only seeks to eliminate people because they're on land that they want. Again, that's a feature of the system. That's not a flaw. People quite literally just have no empathy anymore. Yeah! And I don't get it. Also, what the hell am I listening to? There we go. Yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, I was born and raised to be a certain way, to treat others the way I want to be treated. You know, have kindness, have empathy, care about other people. And now that I'm grown and I'm actively participating in the world, I get told, no, don't do that, or no, not like that. Or you get insulted and told that you're, you know, some kind of fool for feeling caring and empathy towards other people, even though you will never meet them. You'll never know their situation. Like, so? I don't have to know every goddamn detail of your life and your struggles to care about you as a human. And I think that's part of it. People just don't see each other as human anymore. Everything is transactional these days. It's more like, okay, what can I get out of this? I feel the exact same way, dude, especially since I'm highly empathetic. Like, I probably wouldn't say I'm highly empathetic, but, like, I can at least have the capacity to fucking care about other people. Which might as well be a goddamn superpower in this day and age. I love how this was gonna end up being like a relatively short thing, and this entire just vent rant fest has gone on for almost 2 hours now. Oops. Okay, I said one of the last times when I was doing one of these I was gonna call it, and then I didn't. It's shitty, but all we can do is just try our best to put the good we want to see into the world. Exactly! It's like, yeah, everything sucks, but you have your own scope of influence. Like, you can talk to people about these things. And be like, hey man, this is a thing that's happening. That sucks. Yeah, maybe there's something we can do about it. Maybe we can collectively get together and do stuff. Like, we can organize, we can get together, do this kind of stuff. And sometimes that happens, and that's great. Sometimes with just how shitty everything is, just talking about it makes it... I mean, it doesn't make it better, obviously, but just talking about these things and being like, hey, man, everything sucks, but you're really not alone in this, I promise. And it's like, thanks, man. That's exactly what I needed to hear today. I'm not crazy for giving a shit about the world and the other people who live in it, because, my god, I'm a person who lives in the world. And hope we can see the results in our lifetime. And you know what? The way things are going, this is gonna be a pessimistic remark on my part, but I don't think I will. Like, the change that I want to see in the world, I probably will not get to see in my lifetime. That doesn't mean I can't still do my part to try and make things better for whoever's coming after me. I may not plan on having kids or anything, but that doesn't mean I have to actively make the world worse for, you know, people who are gonna have kids. You know, make things better or make things worse for their kids. I don't have to do that. I can do my small bits to help contribute to the world and make it better for them. I hate to quote Hamilton. I don't, actually. What is a legacy? It's planting seeds in a garden you never get to see. And I don't know, maybe that's part of it, is that people just want so much instant gratification for things. Like, yes, I am the good person. I did a thing. I did a thing that had immediate results, so I can feel good about myself. It's like, cool, man. How's that gonna help anybody later on? Doesn't matter. Not my problem. It's like, oh, okay, but... Again, it just circles back to, I deadass don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people. I have friends who are my age who are having kids, and all I can think to myself sometimes is, wow, you're really doing that, you know, in the world that we live in. You must be way more optimistic and hopeful than I am. And people just want to do good to get rewarded and get praised, which, I mean, yeah, good is being done, but that isn't sustainable. Exactly. It's like, what, do you want a gold star for not actively being an asshole to somebody? Like, do you want a cookie for a very basic thing? That's not how it works. Like, do you think our ancestors did things with the promise of anything for themselves? Not entirely. Yeah, a lot of them had things that they wanted to do for themselves. And they probably got that. But there was more forward thinking. I mean, I'm certain there still is forward thinking, but with just the way everything feels these days, it doesn't seem like there is. But I'm sure there is somewhere. I don't know. Like I said, I have friends who are having kids, like their first, their second, however many. Got plenty of friends who have kids. They're just starting out, they're new parents, or, you know, they're things like that, and it's like, wow, you really have some kind of hope for the future for this kid. Or those kids, depending on the case. If you're really bringing them into the world. You must be able... I'm not trying to, I'm genuinely trying not to make it sound insulting. It's like, I mean it in the best way. It's like, you really think the world is gonna be a good enough place to have a kid, despite everything. And there is something a bit hopeful in that, depending on context, I think. Now, please don't take the sentence I'm about to say out of context. Some people should not have kids. That's not meant to be a eugenics thing. That's just a, you know, there are some people who just lack the maturity and, you know, understanding and self-awareness. They lack the ability to do any kind of self-reflection to be good parents. They're the kind of people who do things just for the instant gratification. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Or like, they're the kind of people who they have their own baggage they need to work through, and, you know, popping a kid out into the world, the cold, cruel world that doesn't give a shit about them, and when you are too focused on your own issues, you can't give them the full attention they deserve. You can't take care of them the way they deserve. Oh, I agree. I work at a school for autistic kids, and man, some of the parents are just not very good. Yeah. Like, I really want to, like, believe in the best in people. It's like, okay, yeah, you're doing the best you can with what you've got, but, like, some people just don't. And the thing is, some of these people are just the ones that end up... I'm not trying to be crude or overly rude or anything, but some of the people who really shouldn't be parents are the ones who just keep popping them out like it's a fucking thing to do. Like, great, you're just introducing more traumatized... You're just dumping your own trauma onto even more traumatized kids who will not be able to help you work through your own mommy issues. You're just giving... That's the generational curse. Your mommy issues. Congratulations. You passed the curse onto them. You fucked up a perfectly good individual. Look at them. They've got anxiety. I don't know. Here we go. Or like why am I just noticing that there are footprints and an ass print in the dirt on this? That's actually really funny. I mean, I've got a lot of opinions for somebody who doesn't really have any stakes in a lot of these kinds of things. Like, oh, other people having children, that's not really my deal. I'm not having them. But at the same time, I'm living in a world where other people are. Okay, to wildly swing back to a completely different topic that goes back to, like, lack of empathy and just not giving a shit about other people. Why don't people use goddamn headphones anymore? Like, you go out just about anywhere, and there are multiple motherfuckers who are just sitting there on their phone, on, like, full blast, watching whatever the fuck they're scrolling on TikTok about. And it's like, do you mind? And it's like, clearly the answer is no. Like, holy shit, I assure you, I did not want to listen to whatever the fuck you're listening to. If I did, I would pull it up on my own phone and put my headphones in. Because I have the common sense and courtesy to not want to blast whatever I'm listening to in a public space where I'm sharing it with other people. Maybe, just maybe, I have the cognizance to realize not everybody else wants to listen to fucking my finished power metal music. Maybe I have the cognizance to say, hey, yeah, you know, maybe other people don't want to listen to this. Or maybe other people don't want to listen to my TikToks that I'm watching. What a novel concept. And anytime I'm in a place where that's happening, I admit, I'm a little passive-aggressive before I get actively aggressive. Like, I have wireless headphones, so I can just easily, you know, pop open the case, pop in an earbud, bada bing, bada boom. And it's got a very satisfying, you know, click sound when you close it. You know, pretty noticeable. It's like, hey, what are you doing? And if that doesn't get the message across, then it's like, okay, then I might say something. It's like, dude, I promise you, nobody else wants to listen to this. This whatever the fuck you're watching on TikTok. And if they do, cool. You can share your earbuds with them. Or have it on low and watch it close. Don't have your goddamn phone, like, 5 feet away from you, like, as far away outstretched as you can. I don't know, it was something I saw pointed out online, and then I started noticing it, and it's like, well, shit. I don't know, maybe that's just circling back to being, like, one of those little bits of good you can see in the world. A coworker at a group home I worked at who would straight up watch hentai in the other room. Jesus. Like, if that's what you want to do, there's a time and place for it. I had to work shifts hearing anime girl moans all shift. That's just fucking gross, man. That is truly hell. It sounds like it. And I'm very sorry you had to deal with that. Oh, hi, I forgot Jimbo was still here. There we go. Jimbo be gone. We've scrubbed him away. But yeah. I think I've done more than enough ranting for the night. And for quite a while. We've been going for like 3 hours now. A solid 2 of that was just me ranting about whatever just came to mind. Let's get out of here. Let's go find somewhere to go. Somewhere to drop you guys off. If you want to. If not, that's fine too. Let's see who's doing what. Night-night. Good night, Jordan. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out and chatting and listening to me just rant for all goddamn night. And I hope you have a good week while I'm gone. I find this highly entertaining. Minor pun intended. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, we'll go. we will go raid good friend of the cafe, Jay. Looks like she's doing some art, some color studies. Getting art inspo. All that fun stuff. As always, there's our raid message. Yeah. There is anything to take from all of the ranting and everything I did today. I don't know, try to be the good that you want to see in the world. If things are a bit ass, do what you can to make them be less so. I don't know. Just try to be a good person. And as always, you know, stay hydrated, drink some water, eat good food, take your meds, get plenty of rest. And I'll see you guys in like a week and a half. Bye-bye!